Welcome, everybody, to the Silk City Podcast. I'm Paul Bastante, your host of the show with the most. This, my friends, is a podcast that deals with businesses. And today we have a very, very, very special guest in the studio with us today. And it's Julie Shiel from Party Connections Catering. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, Paul. Thank you very much for having me today.
Oh, listen, you're a no-brainer. I love having you. From the very minute I booked you, I was like, I can't wait for this episode. Counting down the days. I have one of those like advent calendars at home, but it's the Julie Shiel advent calendar. And every day that gets closer, you know, I put a little like chocolate covered peanut in there, you know, like, so I can like count down the days. So are you nervous? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
All right, you should.
You make me comfortable.
All right. What we do with every one of these interviews, I like to play a game called Yes, No, Either, Or. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. So Yes, No, Either, Or is a chance for us and our listeners and our watchers on the podcast to be able to get to know our special guest in studio virtually based on the answers that they give to these simple questions. So you ready to play?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready to play.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Buffet or plated dinner?
Plated dinner.
Tacos or tapas? Is that how you pronounce that? Tapas?
Tapas.
Okay. Why explain to people what tapas is because they don't know.
Small plates.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of variety.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So cooking or baking?
Cooking.
All right. No, do you do baking?
Minimally.
Minimally? Okay.
I mean, upon special request, but I do have a woman that I use that I can supply.
Got you. Okay.
Baked goods.
Well, I've been known also to be a cook. I'm not a chef like Julie, but if you asked me to bake something, it would be probably a disaster. I might burn down the kitchen. I'm being honest with you. I mean, is there such a big difference between people who bake and people who cook? I mean, it's a different thing, right?
Baking is much more precise.
Mm-hmm. Measuring.
Mm-hmm. And, cooking is a little of this, a little of that. Sometimes the tomatoes might be a little more sweeter, so you might have to put a little more salt.
Sure.
So you play. It's more fun to create.
Are you the type of person, now you've been doing this for a long time, we'll get into how long in just a second, but when you cook, is your style where you're measuring everything to a precise thing, or do you actually, can I wake you up in 3 a.m. and ask you for a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, you could give it to me? Which one are you?
I do not measure.
Okay, so you know by eyeball.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, sometime a chicken base might be a little different. So you have to alter it to change the flavor.
Sure. All right. So early morning prep, or late night cleanup?
Early morning prep.
Yeah. Are you an early bird, or are you a night owl?
Early bird.
Yeah. Have you always been an early bird?
Always.
Always? Okay. Pretty cool. Classic comfort food or trendy small plates?
Honestly, a bit of both. There's nothing like comfort food. Mm-hmm. But you want to be trendy and keep up with the trends.
Absolutely. AI, yes or no?
Not yet.
Haven't found a way to incorporate that with the catering business?
Not yet.
All right. We're getting there. Outdoor garden party or black tie banquet?
Outdoor garden party.
Yeah? Why is that? Black tie, I mean, is the mood a little different? Because I'm sure there's a vibe for every single event that you do.
Absolutely. Black tie affair, a lot more stress. Mm-hmm. Not that I can't handle stress, but a backyard pretty barbecue, it's a little more laid back. Not that it can't be very elegant, but I would prefer that.
Gotcha. No, absolutely. Red wine or white wine?
White wine.
Okay. Awesome. Pastry station or carving station?
Carving station. A fresh...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Fresh piece of meat or poultry out of the oven and carved table side. You can't get any better.
Ooh, and you slice it nice and thin like that, and folks, you could just taste that. I could just taste that as I'm here in the studio. Believe me, there's no kitchen here at ANJ Studios. I want to let you guys know that because some people might come in off the street, Santiago, and think that there's a kitchen in the back. Matter of fact, Julie, the first thing she said to me when she walked in the room was like, "Where's the kitchen?" You don't have to cook everywhere you go, Julie, all right? That's not, necessarily important. Okay. Secret recipe or open kitchen vibes?
Open.
Yeah. You have a lot of like secret recipes and things like that?
I had a secret recipe, my balsamic vinaigrette.
Ooh.
But I have shared, so no more secrets.
Oh, so the secret's out. So tell me about that, because a lot of people, now you're a chef. You're not just, when people say you cook, that's like somebody, flipping burgers and like dropping fries in the lard, right? I mean, that's what a cook does, right? But a chef is different. Chefs spend a lot of time with menu planning. They're planning their dishes, working on their craft. They're experts at what they do. So, give me the difference, cook or chef.
The difference between a cook and a chef is more planning, starting from fresh ingredients. Cook, lots of times it's prepared foods.
Right. Dropping something in the oil or whatever.
In the fryer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the chef is creating a full menu that one thing is going to complement the protein.
Sure. Farm to table or fine dining?
Fine dining.
Chafing dish or wood-fired oven?
Chafing dish, just due to the fact, I just think wood fire, I just think pizza.
Yeah, right, exactly. I do too. If you have that in your name or whatever, that's exactly what people would think.
Right.
Yes. Spontaneous menu creation or detailed planning?
Honestly, a bit of both, but more detailed planning to be organized.
Mm-hmm. And big wedding or intimate dinner party?
Intimate dinner party, I would prefer.
Okay.
Weddings, not that an intimate dinner party doesn't take a lot of planning in particular too, but a wedding, it's a wedding. It's
absolutely.
Stress, more stress.
What food trend needs to chill out already?
The food trend that needs to chill out has to be the charcuterie boards. Very time consuming, which makes them costly, but they are beautiful at the end.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah.
But everybody's got to have a charcuterie board.
So I'm glad you just said that, okay? Because Santiago, he's grinning behind the glass because you know what this brings up? This is like a great analogy. The charcuterie board is the podcast, okay, in the electronic world. Everybody thinks that they can do it, right? Everybody wants one, right? Everybody wants to have one. And every single Tom, Dick, and Harry that goes to a party brings a charcuterie board. And the people that are hosting the party are like rolling their eyes like that because they have like 6 charcuterie boards at their house, right? Is the charcuterie board the most trendy thing going on in catering today?
The charcuterie board probably is the most trendy. Have to.
Yes. What's the weirdest thing ever that you saw on a charcuterie board?
Everything can go on charcuterie boards, down to cookies, pretzels.
Mm. Okay. Could if I was a customer and I came to you, would you be willing to allow me to tell you what to incorporate on my charcuterie board?
Absolutely. If you gave me the ingredients that you want on the charcuterie board, I would make it happen.
Gotcha. And is there anything that you wouldn't put on the charcuterie board?
There's nothing I wouldn't put on a charcuterie.
Right? Every single thing that they ever wanted. You wanted to put anchovies on it, and a little fancy jar, bam, it's on there.
Edible flowers,
right? All those things. That's really awesome. Okay. What's the one kitchen tool that you would grab, okay, if your kitchen was on fire?
If my kitchen were on fire, I would probably grab my cleaver. No special pots or pans, maybe a couple other knives.
Yeah. Why your cleaver, though? Is that what you use the most of?
Yes.
Okay.
I use the cleaver the most.
So, I don't know, like, Julie, I was listening to the news on the way into work today. I'm listening. I was driving in my car, and I'm listening. I hear all this, like, weird news about this woman, being arrested for, like, cleaving her family or something. But they called it a stabbing. And people that don't know, like a cleaver is actually like a big, like it's got a handle.
Square.
It's like a square blade, and you use it to like, they used it in the menu, the movie, The Menu, to chop off the guy's finger. I don't know if you saw that movie or not. Great movie about food, by the way. You've seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I'll make a note. The Menu.
People go see The Menu. You're going to love that movie. Like, I feel like if you were going to stab somebody, you wouldn't do it with a cleaver. Yes or no?
It was probably the most accessible tool that the woman had.
Okay.
Not that you couldn't stab somebody with a cleaver.
You could, but it's more of a chopping thing. And then it's funny you say it's the first accessible thing, because I grew up, I had an Italian father, and my Italian father, like if I ever pissed him off, right, I'd have to run, okay, and I would run, and he would grab the nearest thing and he would throw it, and is that you? Like anything happens, you're grabbing the cleaver, right? Fire in kitchen, being threatened, whatever, it's the cleaver.
The cleaver is my favorite tool in the kitchen.
Describe your cooking style, if you could. I know it's a very simplistic question, but people, just to give you some context, I've had Julie's food. It's unbelievable. What is it that's your style, though, if you could put a finger on it?
I would say my style of cooking is freelance. I love people even giving me new recipes, and I'm happy to either improve it or
or put a new spin, or
put a new spin, exactly.
Whatever. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now you're at the event. You're basically you're getting ready. You're putting everything out. You're getting all the food ready, and you're missing this ingredient. What's the worst ingredient as a caterer to forget the day of?
Probably the worst ingredient would be any type of sauce, side sauce, or salad dressing.
Oh, right, and then you have the older people, and they're like, where's the salad dressing, right? I mean, what do you do?
And we make it happen.
You send somebody to the grocery store, right, to get the damn salad dressing.
It might not be my custom balsamic vinaigrette,
right,
but we would make something happen.
Got you. How long does it take you to make the vinaigrette the balsamic that you're so famous for?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Now,
right in the blender.
Okay. You ever thought about maybe bottling it and like you sell it in the supermarkets?
You know what? There were times where I did consider bottling it. Again, very costly. Buying bulk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'll try to come up with different things.
Yeah.
When I'm slow.
Yeah, you're not in the food distribution business, so I'm asking you questions outside of your expertise.
And there are times where I did taking another avenue with the foods or prepared foods or bottled foods or bottled sauces.
Mm-hmm. Well, so we were at the one. So I always explain this to people, Julie. Like when we do an interview with somebody, when they show up for the interview, it's not the first time that we've spent time together. Like Julie and I did a whole bunch of stuff. I went to one of her gigs. She was whatever. Like the guy was the huge politician. He was like a governor or something, and he asked specifically, okay, for your balsamic recipe. You wouldn't give him the recipe, but you whipped up some right on the side. Like, do people ask you like this guy? Do people come to you and be like, hey, can I get some of this for like, because I know like if you make great vodka sauce, right? Or you make great, franchise or whatever, people ask you for that. You get a lot of that?
Not that I get a lot of, special requests, but absolutely people will, I'll whip up a quart of vodka sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And then tell them, this is equivalent to 1 pound of pasta.
Sure.
Add it, slowly reheat over the stove.
Oh, that's so. And listen, your vodka sauce is tremendous.
My honey mustard.
Honey mustard, tremendous. These are things that they're little things, but they make up the entire tapestry of like what you do.
Anything that anybody wants, it's very, very rare that I say no.
That's right.
Like I said, I'm a people pleaser.
You're a people pleaser. Yes, dear. All right. So, what's the one thing that people always get wrong about catering?
Probably the one thing that people misunderstand with catering, thinking that it might be less expensive. Not cheaper, but by the time you're dealing with a full service event, such as china, forks, knives, wine glasses, highball glasses, linen, staff, it does become more expensive than people plan.
Sure.
I mean, not that they can't get a tray of chicken and that would be less expensive than going out to a restaurant. Yes, that would be less expensive.
Yeah.
But when you're really talking full service catering, it's not necessarily a less expensive avenue to go.
So a lot of times it's one of these things where people think that it would be less expensive for them to handle all the details. But like we were talking about off air before with Santiago, like everybody has a plan, right? Until what? Until they get punched in the face. And what I mean by that is like, there comes a time during your event where you look down and you don't have forks. And you're like, oh my God, right? Like this is, like
these are things that can absolutely happen.
Oh yes.
And I am a bit of a control
good
freak.
That's what I want my caterer.
And there are times where it might be a little less, they might find another rental company that's a little less expensive and they want to handle it. But it means that it's more on me or my team to go an extra, even the day before, make sure the forks are there, the knives are there, the linens are the proper size for the table, all these little incidentals.
Mm-hmm.
But it will cost them because they're going to be paying my team to go and double check their work.
Sure. And make sure everything's perfect. And
exactly.
And then, the thing that maybe people don't really realize is that, they can't just enjoy their party.
Exactly.
If they're doing those things,
let
right?
us handle it. Be a guest at your own party.
Be a guest at your own party. I love that saying. It's really great. That's how you should do. So I appreciate you playing that game. I'm fired a whole bunch of rapid questions at you. How you feel? All right?
I feel great.
Good. All right, we're going on here. So I want to ask and give you the people at home a kind of a view of your business. Right? The business is called Party Connections, full service caterer. How did you get started? Just give us some background about how you got started. What made you decide? There's always that moment in somebody's life when they say, you know what? I'm pretty damn good at this this cooking thing. Like maybe I should make this my life's work. Was it ever one of those moments?
I had worked in the food industry ever since I was a young girl, starting as a bus girl, a waitress. They needed help in the kitchen, and then worked sales for catering companies and a lead staff person. And I said, if I'm going to work this hard, I may as well work for myself. And was working part-time for a caterer and told him what I was going to do wouldn't infringe on his territory. And I started the business. Fortunately, my father had a piece of property, and I had a friend that worked in a warehouse, and her a deli had gone out of business. So I bought all the equipment and put in a commercial kitchen.
Excellent.
And 5 years ago, I moved to Riverdale. I've been in business now for 30 years.
Wow.
Moved to Riverdale and put a new kitchen in after 20 odd years.
Sure. Yeah.
So I love my new location. It has a storefront that people can come pick up trays of food. Not that I'm a deli and I don't have food needs to be pre-ordered.
Got you. And I've been to your place. It's outstanding.
Thank you.
You go in there and it makes me want to just like whip up some like lobster bisque soup. I'm like looking at the layout of it, right? So it's, many times when you think you're getting, a professional, an established caterer, a lot of times you're getting somebody who's like, has a part-time job. And they, fancy themselves a good cook maybe, and they're reaching out to the public and, behind the scenes, they're like cooking this stuff in their kitchen. There's no health inspectors. There's no any of this kind of stuff. With Julie's place, there is all this stuff. This is a legitimate catering business. Tell us the difference between a legitimate catering business and one that's like not so much.
Board of Health, food protocol, knowing to put the raw products on the bottom of the refrigerator. In my kitchen, produce is in a certain area, raw meats in a certain area, raw fish is in a certain area, because it's so important, cross-contamination and, proper cleansing, wash, rinse, sanitize. You don't have that in a home-based kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's really the difference. And that's why, you don't just like go on Craigslist and get your caterer. You call up Julie Shiel and you go to Party Connections. That's what you do. Okay. Walk us through like what a full service event looks like for your team, kind of give the people at home an idea of how their full service catering event will go.
The full service catering event would start with the meeting. I'm going to use an example for a wedding that we're doing this coming Saturday. It's for 100 people at up in Sparta at Camp Sacagawea. It's an old Girl Scout camp. So I met with the bride and groom maybe 8 months ago. We developed a menu. It's been tweaked the past couple of weeks, but nothing's carved in stone till the week of. Mm-hmm. Visiting the venue just to make sure there's all the requirements, the proper heating machines that I might need. If not, I can supply. There will be a lead person at the wedding, a lead staff, just to guide the bride, the timing, cocktail hour, dinner buffet, ice cream bar.
So there's somebody that your guest, that the one whose party it is or event it is, that they can kind of liaison with your team.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I mean, especially at a wedding.
Yeah.
Where there's more particulars.
Sure.
There has to be a lead person, somebody who's in control, somebody who knows all the timing, somebody that's familiar with allergies,
right.
the ingredients of the menus.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned all these things. These are things that people don't think of. They just think that these are just like, they don't even really give it any consideration.
Right. So then, they'll be there 2 hours before the event. Mm-hmm. Set the tables, with the linens, mm-hmm. Flatware, napkins, glassware.
Mm-hmm. All right. Tell me what the most unique event you've ever catered is.
The most unique event I catered, and it is quite a few years ago. It was a turkey boil where we went with the propane burners, the big pots, the big 35-gallon frying oil, and fried the turkeys on site.
What is this called now?
Turkey boil, they call it.
Is that the same thing as like a pig roast or something like that?
Along the same line.
A turkey boil, like, is that something? Like, I've never heard of that before today.
Fried turkeys.
Okay, so this is the question. How old were you when you found out about turkey boils? And I'm today old.
Let's see. I don't want to date myself.
No, that's like a rhetorical question. That's like the question for me. Like,
I would say, honestly,
I learned
Paul,
today.
It's probably about 20 years ago I did that.
Wow. Okay. And have you done another one since?
No.
Got you. Is that something? Is turkey boil on your website as a service?
No, it's not. It was just a request.
Okay.
Of a customer.
Got you,
again, like I said, I never say no.
Yeah.
And I'll make it happen.
Was there a lot involved with the turkey boil?
Not that there's a lot involved.
So why don't we offer this to everybody?
You know what? It is dangerous with the hot fat.
Gotcha.
And
high level of difficulty.
Exactly.
A turkey boil is like a high wire act.
Right.
You could show up at a turkey boil. It could be the last thing you ever do.
Right.
You see the explosion from space.
Another probably event would be a large party that I do in Mountain Lakes. And it's a lot of barbecued salads and things like that. And
did you just say barbecued salads?
Barbecue salads /
Okay.
And we did an alligator and a shark on the customer's spit.
Okay. Wow.
And that was roasted.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So really, like, I hope you guys are getting the idea that no holds barred here. You're talking like, if you're going to hire Party Connections to do your thing, you got to think about, they can really do anything. You guys are really, I'm learning now that you're really versatile. That being the case, are there any trends that you are seeing in catering today lately that either, excite you or like annoy you?
I don't think there's any trends today that necessarily excite me or annoy me. I can't really think of anything, Paul, that's trendy.
Yeah.
And
charcuterie's trendy, yes.
And it is.
Yeah.
And not that it's annoying, but like I said, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
Time is money.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But, if people are, willing to pay.
Well, that's the thing.
Course,
I mean, like
with anything.
Absolutely. Like if it's worthwhile for you. I mean, listen, people I think in the public, they kind of give you that, that leeway, that consideration to say like, hey, they need to be in business. Like part of being a great business, is being able to answer the bell. when I say answer the bell, I mean be able to stick through for the long haul. And if you're not there for the long haul, you really failed them as a customer or a client. And so that's why you want your person you're doing business with to be profitable and to make money. You have to figure in, if you're gonna go to a restaurant, you're gonna add a little money for the tip. Right. If you're going to do an event for yourself that's going to be memorable, you're going to add a little bit extra in there so that your caterer can make money. Yes or yes?
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate with my customers. They're happy to see me succeed.
Sure.
And I do say yes to things that might not be so profitable, but it will be profitable in the long run.
I love that. And I want you to be profitable as well.
Thank you.
Folks, I've had the chicken cutlets over there and the quiche too. Wendy and I were just having a conversation and she asked me, what are you doing today? Because she's mystified, Santiago, about what I do for a living. Like I talk, So she's like, oh, what are you doing today? And, who are you interviewing today? And I told her I'm interviewing the world famous Julie Shiel. Party Connections Catering. And she was like, oh my God, you have to ask her about the quiche. Like that quiche was incredible. Like, do a lot of people ask you for your quiche?
My quiche, so many people love it.
Oh yeah.
Heavy cream, cheese, eggs, bacon. How can you go wrong? Heavy cream is the secret.
Oh, sorry. Heavy cream is the secret. We don't want to tell anybody your secrets here.
I'm happy to share my secrets.
All right. So listen, I have one question. I have one question for you then about the quiche. Is it true or is it not true? Do real men eat quiche?
Real men eat quiche.
You heard it here first, people. Julie Shiel has dispelled the myth. Real men eat quiche. You heard it here first. Listen, you gotta watch the Silk City podcast. You learn stuff here, Santiago. You learn stuff. All right. You've worked with so many types of people, how do you adapt your approach for like weddings versus like corporate events versus like private house parties? And like the thing about it that I imagine is like when you do like a private wedding, you're dealing with like bridezilla. This is like a thing. Like bridezilla, like people freaking out. It's the most biggest day of their life, right? You are in there between a great time and a successful event, and it's stressful, is it not?
With these events, it can be very stressful. All clients I do handle the same. I'm very easy. I'm very flexible. With a more special event, i.e. wedding, I am probably just a little more particular. Make sure everything is in black and white, so there aren't any of the mistakes.
Sure. The
the
better planning there is, the more relaxed everybody is the day of.
Exactly. A corporate event, you're preparing the food, you're delivering the food.
Mm-hmm.
Many times it's just dropped off. Really no creativity to it.
Yeah.
The wire racks,
mm-hmm.
not making it that special touch.
Gotcha.
The presentation.
Sure. No.
Put it that way, because I take pride in presentation.
Listen, it's one of the things that makes a difference between, it's one of the things that you want and you pay for when you pay for a caterer or you go to a restaurant or you go to an event, private affair, is like the presentation of it. What's the difference though? If you're in a restaurant and you're like plating a dish, right? There's a certain art to that, right? And plating is a certain skill to have. You need to have that with catering. Explain the differences though between how you might go about that, because obviously I always thought, how do you make, you can make a plate of chicken franchise good for one person, but how is it when you have to pump out 125 plates of chicken franchise? What's the trade-off there?
There really is no trade-off. Whether you're doing 1 or 10 or 50, you just need more hands
mm-hmm.
and the food ready.
Mm-hmm.
A plated presentation, maybe for 100, just might keep it a little more simple. Some fresh chopped parsley, 1 piece of lemon.
Sure.
Not twist the lemon.
Gotcha. Understood. Right. To take away that labor involved.
Because you need the speed.
Sure. And if you're dealing with one person in a restaurant, you could take like that time. Right,
where you're garnishing the plate a little more elegantly.
Absolutely. Any like fun or chaotic stories from like events that you can share? And you know what? while you're thinking about that, don't give us the names. We'll protect the innocent, protect the names of the innocent here. But any kind of weird, chaotic, funny, things that happened at one of these events.
One chaotic thing. I was not at the event, but a couple of my team members told me we were doing a chocolate fountain, and it was for a high school graduation party.
Oh boy.
Exactly.
Bunch of sugared up kids. What happened?
Oh boy. Chocolate all over a white kitchen. So now, no more chocolate fountains. We do chocolate fondue.
Okay, good. Right. All right. So, and that's where you dip the stuff in the chocolate and like the pineapple on the skewer or the strawberry on the skewer, right? Stuff like that, as opposed to
the fountain, which is a beautiful presentation.
Which you stick in the stuff and get it do it, right?
Exactly. Okay. But it's more of a presentation. But there's just been incidents where they don't work.
Yeah. So there's many.
That's off the menu.
As there are many ways to skin a cat, there are many ways to chocolate your fruit, right? Yeah, absolutely. So
your fruit, your cookies, your pretzels.
I thought you were going to tell me maybe about the one, because you told me about the one time when we were doing the rock climbing, the rock wall climbing that we were doing the other day, you and me. You told me about the story with the pony. And the pony like broke away, and he like took it. Julie's looking at me like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" I have to say, like, my guests, I appreciate you guys. You allow me to just be the complete knucklehead that I am, and fire these questions at you. But my job is fun. Interviewing somebody like you is really, it's like an honor. You have a great business, not a good business. Party Connections in your community is really a stalwart. I'll say that. It's a stalwart. Tell us what it means for you, okay, to be a great community member, not just somebody who's taking the money of the public and not somebody who's just, doing the business, but being a part of the community.
Being part of the community is very, very important. I always try to meet within their budget. Plus, I did a big event for the Pompton Lakes Women's Victorian Tea.
Sure.
They were very, very pleased, and they have me on the books for next year.
So Maria Kent told me about that. She's a councilwoman in Pompton Lakes, and she's in the Women's Club, and she explained to us at our United Tips of America networking meeting that you were freaking awesome. That was a great event.
That was a great event.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was about 800 tea sandwiches we had to make. 800? No, it was probably 1,200.
Wow.
1,200 little tea sandwiches.
Wow. Okay, so I'm glad we're going to segue into this because I think it's a really cool thing. Like, I know a couple other caterers. I'm not going to mention any names because this is all about you. The whole world is all about Julie Shiel and only Julie Shiel, right? But the thing is, like, I knew this one guy and he got an order for like, I think it was like 10,000 sprinkled vanilla cookies for like an event, right? So it's very simple, right? Like the sprinkle, I don't even know what's involved in making that, but each in a folded at the top wax bag, right?
Okay.
For an event, right? So you come in the door, you get your cookie, maybe you're leaving, you get your cookie,
a little
right?
favor bag.
What's the weirdest or thing or the most scopy thing, meaning, that you had to make 18,000 of these? You have any stories like that? Can people do these things with you? Get 10,000 cookies if they want?
Not 10,000 cookies because I really don't bake.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody needed 10,000 cookies, I would assist them in finding a bakery in Newark.
Well, listen, if somebody comes to you and you don't want to do it, just tell me. I know somebody who can make 10,000 cookies, which is why I asked, because I thought that was ridiculous. And I don't mean just cookies, Julie. I mean any item. What's the weirdest, like, of any mass-produced quantity that you did or have done?
You know what? I would say it would have to be the tea sandwiches.
Yeah. And so there were 800 tea sandwiches. Explain what's in a tea sandwich.
1,200.
What's in a tea sandwich?
A tea sandwich. I used the very thin Pepperidge Farm bread, and it was filled with a chicken salad, a ham salad, egg salad.
Okay.
And they're spread on and then you have to cut them all in little triangles, little squares.
Okay.
So they're little bite size.
Okay, understood. And if I needed 1,500 of these, I could get you to do it for me.
Just call me.
Ooh, gosh, that's unbelievable. That's like,
but there's times where we've had larger parties where I might be making 400 corn fritters.
Okay. Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people can do this.
Absolutely.
Wow.
If it's a larger party, I normally figure, depending on the choice of hors d'oeuvres, but the hors d'oeuvres, that's time consuming.
What if I was like, Julie, I want like 500 corn dogs. You make the corn dogs, you make them, and you figure out how to do it.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. And of course, this is all like regardless of cost. I mean, not even, I mean, people may be rich, they may not be, I don't know, but this is all regardless of cost, and that you can do these kind of quantities. So that's really awesome. As a small business owner, how do you balance your creativity of what you do? Because you're not making like car parts. There's creativity involved here. This is like, there's plating, there's, a lot of this stuff. How do you balance the creativity against like the logistics and like the operations of it? Because as a small business owner in New Jersey, and things being as expensive, you don't know about payroll. You don't know about, so you're not doing every last thing, but there are some things you have to do. How do you manage it?
As a small business owner, I finally did get smart and hired a bookkeeper. So I could spend more time in being creative with the menus, things that other people or I'm going to do best.
Sure.
So step back, Julie. You don't need to do payroll.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine?
And in the beginning I was, but then you're working till 8:00 at night, or I'm taking my chef hat off and putting my office coat on.
And who the heck wants to do that? You spend a whole day slaving with the food and everything, and now you're going to do the books too?
Yeah. And I could stay all day in the kitchen and cook and create, or the office, be creative with menus.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's all complete.
Now, listen, we know, some of these days when you're a caterer are, they just go on and on and on and on, right? What's the longest day you ever had in catering?
Probably 15 hours.
Really? So now, okay, so you have a 15-hour catering day. Okay, you're in one place, you're on your feet. Listen, I worked for a caterer one time, and it's not easy work, all right? Like, when you show up in the party, all the stuff's there, but you didn't see what happened before you got to the party, right? I know how hard it is, Julie. So you spent 15 hours at the party, all right? You go all the way home after it. Now you need a midnight snack. What is that snack? What is Julie Shiel eating for a midnight snack after a 15-hour catering day?
Thomas English muffin.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so let's dispel some myths here. We like to do that on the Silk City podcast. Are they nooks or are they crannies?
They're nooks and crannies.
Nooks and so what's the difference between a nook and a cranny?
The difference between a nook and a cranny, I think the crannies are a little deeper.
Ah, so a nook is just like it was like a clipped out of there.
Yeah.
It's the consequence of taking the muffin apart creates the cranny, the nooks and the crannies. Ah, so you heard it here first. Listen, you don't just get like the business owner here, Santiago. You get like answers like what's a nook and what's a cranny now. And the next time somebody asks somebody like that at home, you can tell them, exactly like what it is. If you could cater an event for any celebrity or fictional character, who would it be and what would you serve them? And Julie asked me like, I don't want to answer that question, but you know what? I like to know who your favorite person is, and then I'd like to know what you would cook them if you could cook them something.
If I were to cook for anybody famous or fictional, I would probably make a comfort food of braised short ribs, mashed potatoes, and cauliflower mixed. And to who would I? Maybe I'd cook for Trump.
Okay. All right.
I think he would be happy.
This is not a political show. No. And she mentions a polarizing political figure, but let's just say, absolutely, he is a famous guy. A couple of people know who he is. Couple people. I heard of him a few times. I'll admit it. So has Santiago. But the rumor is, Julie, that our great president doesn't eat food that's like fine dining. He would prefer to have a Big Mac, cheeseburger, and like French fries. So comfort food would be really great for him. What would you cook the guy?
As I mentioned, I'd probably do the braised short ribs, mashed potatoes.
Okay, but do you
or
think
do a
that
mashed potato and cauliflower mix.
would he enjoy that so much as he would something like chicken cordon bleu or something, or like something like that's like fatty and like easily made?
Chicken cordon bleu is another one of my favorite.
Cheetos on the side?
No Cheetos.
Okay, no Cheetos on the side. That'd be insulting, Santiago, right? So again,
a nice rice medley.
We go both like a rice medley. There you go. That's actually good. This is why Julie's so successful because, when it comes to these hard assignments, so she knows the assignment. She knows the assignment. So, okay, in one sentence, how would you describe the heart of Party Connections?
The heart of Party Connections is definitely me, and it's high energy, people pleasing. That's it.
Rolling out the red carpet, and now let's just talk frank for a second because in some of the services that Party Connections does can you hire Party Connections to come to your event and do a work affair? Yes. Can you hire them to do a wedding? Yes. But in today's day and age, there are families where both people are working. They're both working 14-hour days. They don't want to come home and have an English muffin, whether it's nooks or crannies, Julie. Let's be honest about it. And they want maybe a meal plan. So what do you do for the person who, in the family, everybody's working, they come home, they don't want to eat like English muffins, like you said before, regardless of the nooks or the crannies and which ones that they are. You guys have a service for this?
Absolutely. For the busy family, professional, individual, I offer a dinner service. It's offered every week on Mondays. There's menu choices, 6 I normally offer every week. It's a protein, it's a balanced meal, protein, vegetable, starch, and it comes with a salad. Heating instructions, approximately 30 minutes in the oven, and you have a fresh home-cooked meal.
That is tremendous. And so what's the scope of this? Like, say, last week, how many meals did you do?
Last week, I did about 180.
So, folks, if you need to, and I've had these before, they're really good. Like Julie said, they are all like balanced meals because that's really what meal planning is. It's like, it's scientific,
Yes.
The food enjoyment of the food is like really secondary to the fact that we're humans. We need this in our bodies to run, right?
Yes.
And so when you have a meal, any self-respecting meal service can provide meals that really balance those out. And let me tell you, folks, it's not 1965. It's not that 1975. We don't do TV dinners anymore. You can go get Hungry Man dinners right at the store.
With the little cobbler.
With the little cobbler on the side. You have a dessert that goes like that? Because I got to tell you, like right now, even though they're like TV dinners, man, that little piece of cobbler that's in there, I could just they're worth it.
I would eat that first.
Me too. I'd eat that first. You guys have like a certain like dessert that goes with the meal plans? Can you get it or can you do that?
I could, upon request, at times I work, especially during COVID.
Right.
I was offering dessert selections, but it wasn't taking off.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I just eliminated
Well,
it.
it's like in the restaurant a lot of times, it's only 10% of people order dessert, right? The waitress comes over, hey, can I get you dessert? You're like, oh, I'm too full. It's like that whole dance. That's a dance.
Yep.
We do that dance, right? Every time we go out to eat. But with the catering parts, it's probably just different, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely different.
When people now, okay, so now we've spent the last like 40 minutes basically telling the people out there in the world how great you are, and they're like, you could hear, like if you whisper, you just lower your voice, you can hear them salivating. You could some of them like they're drooling on their chest, basically on themselves. So they're right now primed. They want to order from Party Connections. How do they do it?
Can call me directly, text me.
What's the number?
973-222-0801.
Okay.
I also have an office landline, which forwards to my cell, so I'll never miss a call.
Got you.
Email party, PARTI, connection at AOL.
Okay.
I can be reached anyway.
Now, what about your website? Like if they want to go and they want to look and order or whatever, like how do they get to your website?
Website is www.partyccc.com. Party Connections Creative Catering.
Excellent.
And there is a contact us, and there is a message
Sure.
area that they can send me a message, and it comes directly to my email.
Absolutely. And, before we go, just a little personally, like, say there's no food involved. What do you like to do?
I do enjoy tennis.
Okay.
My kids are trying to get me into pickleball. They did buy me some rackets.
Have you played yet?
I haven't played pickleball yet.
Okay.
Had a couple knee issues.
Gotcha.
So I had to lay low a little bit.
Is there, again, like, we can't even talk about, like, recreational activities with Julie without her bringing up food. And now we're talking about pickles, like, like, even the sports she plays, like, they're like, that's the person you want catering and making your damn food. That's who you want. Like, but, so how about, like, you have family, kids? So tell us about your family.
Yes, I have 2 children, Olivia and Patrick. They have no interest in the food service business. No? They see that I've worked too hard all my life. Olivia is a teacher for kindergarten, and Patrick's in the insurance industry.
Oh, okay. Well,
and they do help me if
if need be.
If really need be, even if it's simple as a delivery or, they have helped with larger parties.
Sure.
Wait staffing or bartending.
Mm-hmm.
But their heart's not in it like mine.
Absolutely. So, and I have the same thing, like, how do you, and it's morbid to think about, what do you do with your business when things are over, and whatever. And we're all like, and of course, like, not us. We're not, like, Julie's like, I don't know, she's like 35 years old. I don't even know what she is, but she's a young person. And, but to think about what it is that you have to do with your business when, like, the show's over, so to speak, you can give it to me.
Okay.
I'll take it, I'll take it. I'll do that. And if I'm not,
I'll stick around for about a year, show you the ropes.
There you go. And I'll give you a great consulting fee for that. And, but truth be told, like, it was Santiago. He was like, how do we get, I heard Julie, she's got nobody to take her business. How do we get that thing? So, cause we want to do it because Party Connections, you guys serve like millions of people. Like, anybody in their right mind would love to have your business. Right. But what's the thing now? Let's not make it all about peaches and cream. Let's not make it all, dancing through the tulips. Okay. What is it about catering that's like the underbelly? That's like the drawback, the thing that you don't like about it?
I would say the thing that I like least about the catering industry would probably be the hours. I mean, it has gotten better since I've grown. But years ago, I was at every event, and I just felt I had to be there.
Right.
But now I have such a strong team,
Yeah,
and they take such pride in the customers. I don't necessarily have to go to every party. So my weekend isn't every Saturday, 6 a.m. till 8 p.m.
No, it looks like, Janis Joplin made a song about it. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. And I think it's because every single job that you do, you give a little bit of your heart to it. You lose a little bit of yourself to it, physically, emotionally, whatever. As you get on with this, you've been doing this for 30 years, right?
Yes. 30 years I've been.
Their end in sight. What's the end plan? What's the golden parachute for Julie Shiel?
I don't think Julie has a golden parachute.
Really?
I honestly enjoy what I do so much. The only maybe avenue I could see happen down the road, try to find somebody a little younger that I could groom and possibly purchase the business.
Sure.
Make them become me.
Right. Absolutely. And
but somebody would have to, I would need to work with that person.
Sure.
And I have so many repeat customers, and customers have been using me for 30 years.
Right.
That, you know what? This is my new right hand.
Sure.
And I want to make it a success for he or she.
Absolutely. It's been such a great time. Doesn't time go like ridiculously fast around here, Julie?
It's wonderful.
It's like so awesome. You're such a great person. And I've known you for a few years. And, just to give like a personal like testimonial like to the people out there, just want to look in the camera and tell you, point blank, that, some businesses that when you deal with them, are not a great experience for whatever reason. I've actually used Party Connections Catering, and this place is it's just a major league organization. You know, there's really nothing to worry about. All the details are attended to. And more so than that, and maybe the most important thing is that the food is really good. Like, you're a really good chef. Like, you could cook your ass off. I'll just say that right now.
Thank
The
you.
food is great. You got to go over there and you got to get the meal plans, and you got to like take advantage right here in Riverdale and Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, right on Newark Pompton Turnpike. Julie gave you all the ways to contact her. Now you have no excuse whatsoever. And also, in the near future here, Julie's going to be on the Flix Pop radio show with me, which I can't wait to have you on there talking about movies.
I'm so excited.
We're going to do that. And then after that, we're going to have her on the Movie Club podcast. So she's making the rounds. She's really kind of stepping out, making an effort to be just different in her business approach. And, you know, we have to support that. You know, we like the people, like that's how you do it. Right. But that's not the only way they do it. Right. Like, I feel like if you're not going to take part, maybe once a year, 2 years, once every 2 years, twice a year, whatever the case may be, you're going to use Julie, but you may see her post on social media. You may see her, you know, you may see or hear a relative say, you know, hey, we're having a 1 year birthday party for our 1-year-old or whatever, you know, recommend and refer her. And that's how the world works with local business, is it not?
Absolutely. That's the way it should work.
Yeah. And I feel like the only way that works is when the business does a good job of making sure that their guests get exactly what it is that they want, and even more, like exceeding those expectations, because I think word of mouth is what you're earning when you do that. And in this day and age, it's really kind of a large part about that.
It is definitely.
Yep.
We aim to please.
Yes.
And any particular details, we'll make sure it's correct.
And just go to their Google page. You'll see all of their 5-star reviews, which they have a lot of also. And if you've used Julie before, you know, go ahead and leave her a review. So again, for Andrew Santiago, one word, as you all know, behind the glass, couldn't do it without you, buddy. From A&J Studios with Julie Shiel, Party Connections Catering, and I'm Paul Bastante. We'll see you guys next time on the Silk City Podcast.